Labour could face action from the Equality and Human Rights Commission over complaints about anti-Semitism in the party. It's contacting Jeremy Corbyn's party to set out its concerns and request a response. If that response is found to be unsatisfactory, the EHRC could launch a formal investigation. Labour says it will cooperate fully with the Commission and stresses the party completely rejects any suggestion that it has acted unlawfully. Well, we can talk now to Gideon Falter, Chairman of the Campaign Against Anti-Semitism, which has filed the complaint to the Equality and Human Rights Commission. Thank you very much for joining us. So what exactly is the complaint?
The complaint is that Labour, over the course of the leadership of Jeremy Corbyn, has allowed an atmosphere of anti-Semitism to grip the party. This is the party that was the anti-racist party that we all recognise. It actually set up the Equality and Human Rights Commission. And during Jeremy Corbyn's leadership, anti-Semitic discrimination and victimisation of people who stand up against anti-Semitism has become absolutely endemic in the party, to the extent now that so many MPs, 11 MPs now, have actually left in the last 6 months, starting with Frank Field up to Ian Austin now, over the cause of anti-Semitism, and countless councillors and members have also had to abandon the party. And we in the Jewish community believed for the longest time that if we pointed out where the anti-Semitism was, like any normal political party, Labour would act to attack it and to stop it. But instead, it has allowed the problem to fester to the point that now we felt there was no option other than to go to the authorities and to ask the Equality and Human Rights Commission to begin proceedings. And it's now, we're very pleased to see that it has now started pre-enforcement proceedings against the Labour Party, which may now lead to a full statutory investigation.
Some of Jeremy Corbyn's supporters say that these claims have been blown out of proportion and they're being used as a way to attack Jeremy Corbyn, who has always been clear that he passionately believes in the rights of Palestinians, and where criticism of Israel is justified, he wants to be free to make it.
Yes, the problem is that this has nothing to do with the Palestinians. When people, Labour councillors, are saying that the Jews are parasites who must be crushed, I fail to see how that has anything to do with Palestinians. And this is something that Jeremy Corbyn does, probably deliberately. He conflates the issue of racism against Jews with a conflict that's going on hundreds of miles away. It's nothing to do with the Israelis and the Palestinians or anything else that's happening in the Middle East. It has everything to do with what is happening in Labour, where we are seeing base Holocaust denial, conspiracy theories about Jews controlling the world, the most disgusting slurs, which we are seeing constantly repeated by Labour members, Labour councillors even, and then the Labour Party failing to take action against them. But when people in the Labour Party, like Dame Margaret Hodge, stand up to anti-Semitism in the party, they immediately snap her with a disciplinary case, which eventually had to be dismissed. So we see this double standard. People who stand up to anti-Semitism are attacked using disciplinary procedures. People who are anti-Semites are left alone and their suspensions are lifted.
So the party says it's stepping up disciplinary procedures. It's going to have more staff to deal with the issues as they arise. And Lord Faulkner has also been appointed to lead a review of the claims. Presumably that's not enough.
I sat in this very chair in 2016 when the same thing was announced with the Chakrabarti Inquiry, where the Labour Party said that it would hold an independent investigation into Labour anti-Semitism, they would hire more staff.
I'm going to ask you, sorry, to hold that thought and just pause for a moment, because we have a technical thing that we need to do right now, which is just to say goodbye to viewers on BBC Two. I'll continue this interview on the BBC News channel, but for now we'll say goodbye if you're watching on BBC Two, and see you very soon. Have a good afternoon. Apologies.
No problem.
Do pick up with exactly where you were. So you were reminiscing back to 2016 and.
Yes, so I sat in this very chair in 2016 when the Labour Party began its inquiry under Shami Chakrabarti into anti-Semitism in the Labour Party, and this was supposed to be an independent inquiry. We were told that more staff were going to be hired. We were told that this would put to bed the whole issue. And instead what we got was a whitewash. Shami Chakrabarti was given a peerage straight after the report was published, and we end up with the problem getting even worse for the years after 2016. Now we've got Lord Faulkner, who has already said that he will not be criticising the leadership, who has already said that he is not going to be investigating anti-Semitism, for example, of Jeremy Corbyn. And so this is not an independent inquiry. Lord Falconer's a Labour peer, and what we now need, the Labour Party has had since 2015 to get its house in order. It has failed to do so. So now is the time for the authorities to come in and properly address this matter impartially and independently.
What do you achieve with this? I mean, Labour are saying that they absolutely dispute that this is a founded claim, and they will cooperate with the Equalities and Human Rights Commission. What is the best that you can get out of this? I mean, if you win, what would that mean?
Well, that's the point, is that Labour doesn't have the option. If this is a success, what will happen is that the Commission will compel the Labour Party to produce internal text messages, emails, minutes of meetings, as much evidence as it requires. It will come to a conclusion, and then it can force the Labour Party to adopt a plan of action. And if that plan of action is not implemented to the Commission's satisfaction, the Commission can actually go to court and seek court orders demanding that the Labour Party do what is necessary in order to stop further anti-Semitic discrimination occurring.
Gideon Falter, thank you very much.